What's up, everybody? Welcome to the PixelPlay Sidequest, the only. Well, wait, only. Nah, I'm pretty sure there might be other gaming-related videos here on YouTube. You know what? I'll take that one back. I think that there might be a little bit more, but hey, it is your side content, your bonus content here on the PixelPlay podcast. My name is Adam, aka CS Radical. Joined as always, Chris, aka Jin and Chris. I don't have a game. I can't torture you today, Chris. I don't know what I'm gonna do. It's not fun, and I still
I know.
It's been such a weird week. I haven't even remotely thought about what we were gonna do for our next series. So I'm just like, we can make something up. I was actually initially gonna be like, hey, why don't we just talk about the Final Fantasy VI remake potential, since that was sort of a news story.
Oh,
Right. The 7 creator was like, well, I don't want to be part of that team for a 6 remake. And we weren't aware that was a thing.
Yeah.
Is it a thing now?
I don't know. It's probably less of a thing as the 9 remake is, and as
I
much
don't
of
know.
a thing that is.
It's to a point that I think it's on even playing field.
Oh, I don't know. Release both at the same time.
I mean, I'm not getting a complaint here.
They could call it the 69 collection. Oh, come on.
There you go. We have the solution. See, it's a shame that 7's already out, because then you could call it the 6-7 collection.
Oh God.
There, I got the what's up there, fellow kids joke for the day.
Kids.
But your idea suddenly came up earlier today before we were about to record. So you were like, well, hey, what about this as an idea, since everybody's doing their New Year's resolution about or as we call them, the New Year's, I'm gonna do this for about a week and then quit.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people try to get in shape. I honestly I actually did this. Although I started in September, so I guess it doesn't count as a New Year's resolution.
Yeah.
Because I was hitting, I know there are going to be some of you that are going to be offended when I say this. I had passed 160 starting after the summer. Now I'm 5'9" and a stick my entire life. So 160 is a big deal for me. That's high.
Yeah.
So I usually hover around 140, 145. So I said, okay, my goal at the end of this year we'll get to 145. And I just didn't make it, but I finally hit 144 this morning, ironically enough. So the second you said that New Year's resolution, I'm like, hey, kind of works.
Yeah.
My actual New Year's resolution is I can't show you on camera because, TOS. I want to turn this flab into, I'm not going to say jacked abs, but I'm going to say to the point that I look at it and go, I've never seen you on me before. That's my goal. Some point in the year. I don't care when. It could be December 31st. I don't care.
I love it.
As long as I look in a mirror and go, I have never seen me look like this before. That is my goal.
Yeah, that's a great goal, man. It's a great goal.
So we figure, hey, since we're all in that stage of lying to ourselves that we're going to stick to said goals, why don't we talk about games that we can play either to help you get there or to distract you while you're doing the thing that you don't want to do, which is usually how I have to do it, because being on an exercise bike for more than 10 minutes is fucking boring.
Yes. Yes, and honestly, that's actually where I got the idea of this side quest. So I'll talk about that in a second when we get into the topic.
Well, I mean, you go for it, because I've already said what I need to say.
So we were talking about obviously games that are, like New Year, New You, like what are some good video games you can use for exercise. And there's a ton out there. I started reminding myself of some and I was like, holy crap. But the idea...
Can we just put the free space for Kaylan? Any JRPG, and I'm not even joking.
Honestly, I have that on there, and I'll talk about that as a shout out later. But what made me think about this is not a gaming console at all. I was on my Peloton bike, so I've got a Peloton bike, which again, it's because there's the classes to push you and make you go on it and all that kind of stuff. And I've always struggled with it because I'll do it for a bit, and then I'm like, I just don't care about this very fit person in this class yelling at me to go harder. Like, I don't want to.
It's like, shut up. This is easy for you.
Yeah, it's easy for them. I'm sweating buckets, and I'm like barely pushing. But Peloton has a game on it, and it was actually my wife that found it. And after she told me, I was like, wait a minute, I think my friend Kevin had mentioned this. And I went on, and it's called Lane Break. And the thing is this is like Beat Saber level of like rhythm game, but built into the Peloton system. Now, it only works if you have a Peloton subscription. It's their own game. They created it, and obviously they licensed it at least. But it's cool because it's 6 lanes, and you actually use the resistance knob on the bike to move left or right in the lanes. And you'll see all these different ticks on there, so you have to be in that lane to get the points as music plays. And the reason I even tried this is because they had a Stranger Things one. So it's all music-based.
Oh,
and
they know their clientele, though.
Oh, they know their clientele. So there's like a lane, and it'll have the different beats in it. And as long as you're in that lane and pedaling, you get, like, for every beat, it's 25 points. And then the higher tier level you're on, like the more resistance, the lanes more to the right, you actually get more points. And then there'll be a part where you just have to stay in a very specific speed in order to get points on this one long part. And then there's another part where it's go all out, and you have to pedal as fast as you can, and it'll actually build up a meter to 100%. But then you can overpower yourself and go beyond 100%. It's such a
Can you
cool
go over
concept.
9,000?
The highest I got was 300%. So I think it'd be really hard to get to 9,000
Well,
with a little bit of time.
If you train under 10 times Earth gravity, Chris, you'll get better.
I think that's what. Well, right now I'm on the second level of 5 difficulties. I think I'm going to stay where I am for now. But I did it yesterday and I did it today. And I'm telling you right now, I was hooked. The Stranger Things thing had Master of Puppets on it, which is also, by the way, the longest song of life when you're trying to ride a bike to it.
Okay, please, sir, as a Dream Theater listener, you don't know what long songs are.
That's true. I will never do this game with a song from them. There's no way. I would die.
Trying to think. I'm trying to think. The longest single song I can think of from them, Octavarium, I know is 24 minutes. But like, if you count 6 Degrees of Inner Turbulence, which is like a full like end-to-end song, it just has different parts to it, almost like a classical symphony. It's like 45 minutes essentially.
Yeah,
I've played that entire thing front to back in Rocksmith before, and that fucking kills you.
Jeez, I guess that's a bit of an exercise idea right there too.
Well, especially in this room when it gets really fucking hot at times. Oh yeah, it is.
Yeah, it's cool because you get to choose the length, like 20 minutes, 40 minutes, whatever. You get to choose the music type. So I did another one today, EDM, like dance music kind of stuff. And it's a lot of fun. And the fact that it's so gamified, you get achievements from it. I got a Stranger Things Season 5 achievement in it and everything from doing it. So this is my new way to exercise. This is the one I'm just throwing out there that gave me the idea. You have to have a Peloton to use it. A lot of people have the Peloton app without the Peloton, and then they have like their own exercise bike or their own treadmill or something. I don't know if it works in there because the game does require the actual like connection to the direct bike to know switching lanes with the resistance meter and all that kind of stuff. So I think you have to have the actual device. So this is the one that the least amount of people listening to this will probably have because it's a very specific product. But if you do have one, and you struggle ever with Peloton, or if your gym, I know some people where their gym actually has Pelotons you can use. They have a subscription as long as nobody's using it. You can just hop on and use it. You can just hop on and use this lane break. It's not in the classes. It's under like experiences with a couple other cool things they have. But I'm telling you, if you're a gamer and you do this, you'll never, ever do cardio a different way ever again. This is the only way I'm ever going to do cardio for the rest of my life. I can just tell. For as long as this exists, I'm gamified now. I'm
just waiting for the Sonic DLC.
Oh, there's been some that I've seen. Like they do when Marvel was out, they actually had Anthony Mackie in one of the classes doing the bike and stuff like that. So I'm just waiting for like more of these crossovers because the Stranger Things, I mean, it's a lot of 80s music, Master Puppets, stuff like that. Like it was so perfect. But yeah, I want to scroll through and see some of the other music and run into some cool things. If there's ever a gaming one, which come on, there's got to be one day, I'll die. Like, holy crap.
Well, I mean, based on you know how we were doing with the Earworm Award from our award show last week, Kayla would immediately be like, "Yeah, no, let's put him in Doom."
Yeah, oh my god, if they had Doom, because I'm telling you, there's a ton of metal ones. My wife did.
I was gonna say Electric Cowboy would work fucking perfectly for this.
It would actually, yeah, and yeah, it's just such a good as long as the song has a good rhythm, it's perfect on there. So yeah, highly suggest.
She just made me think, shit, if we were a music podcast, we were like, okay, music that's great to exercise to. I'm like, well, fuck, Electric Cowboy is goddamn perfect.
Electric Cowboy is a really, really good one. I haven't searched. So there is a search in there, but I haven't searched by band. I usually just do music type. So I don't know. Maybe I'll be able to go and look and see if they're.
I mean, if they somehow haven't licensed Pump It, which is literally a music video where they're like an 80s exercise class, like, come on.
Yeah, I know. They've got to. Yeah, all right. You got one?
Well, I mean, I guess we're starting with what's personally working for us. So like, and this is for me using an exercise bike. So like my exercise routine right now is anywhere between 30 to 60 minutes on a bike. I also have this, I wish I had it sitting in the room, but I have this like plank board. So it's like a nice cushy board that has these handles that you can kind of change in and out of these couple of holes depending on how far you want to reach out or how far you want to reach in. And it gives you something easier to like actually hold on to instead of being just like all of the pressures on your forearm. Now you actually have something to hold when you're staying in position. So I'll do like 15, 20 minutes on the bike to the point until I'm like, okay, my ass doesn't want to sit on this anymore. I need a 5-minute break. And I'll move over to the board and I'll fucking do like 5 minutes of whatever exercise, keep going until my body is shaking and doesn't want to do anything anymore there. Yeah. And then I go back. And I've tried different things. The two that have always worked for me, it doesn't work as much now because the game's basically done, so I have no reason to play it now. But like MLB The Show has always been my go-to sports game. I think sports games in general tend to work really well in this because a lot of it is just the same gameplay over and over again. It doesn't take nearly as much, thinking or paying attention to like stories. Because I've tried playing just games. I've tried just playing normal games, playing through a story. I can't focus between the two as easy. So I need something that's more mindless. So baseball has always worked the best for me because baseball is very much like just sit, wait for the pitch, hit, and then you might have to do a run here and there. But like it's not like as crazy if you were trying to play Madden or FIFA or whatever else. I imagine none of them are going to be that much more harder anyway. It works out well that baseball is the least need to pay attention level of it. Absolutely. But what I do now, and this is definitely going to work a lot for older clientele like us. But even if you're like a teenager now, like I'm sure if you can find something that works for you in this instance, it works. But like I use the Final Fantasy IV randomizer, and specifically the randomizer because it makes sure that every single time I play, it's not feeling like it's the same thing. Mm-hmm. So I have like several different flag sets that I run, so that way I keep it fresh constantly then too. So every time I play, it's never the same thing. Like there might be some things that you come across that you have for a while, but like when key item locations, bosses, character locations, all these like even shops and treasure chest items are randomized, it makes every single experience pretty different to the next one that you do, so it gives that. Now, that could work for other people for different games, like even just staying in Final Fantasy or any Super Nintendo RPG, especially that's turn-based. You could throw a Super Mario RPG randomizer in there, you could throw a Chrono Trigger randomizer in there, like whatever works for you. But even then, like any old-school game or any randomizer that doesn't feel like it needs nearly as much of your attention, like I can't imagine something in the bounds of like Ninja Gaiden or Metroid would probably be workful enough because you do have to pay attention to maps, you do have to actually react pretty quickly to stuff. Whereas like me using Final Fantasy is just, okay, here's a battle. There's the odd boss battle where, you have to be a little quicker on the trigger to make sure you're getting your attacks in or whatever, but like it's not that intense. So it's pretty easy to still get sucked into what you're doing without realizing that you're not really doing much at all.
Yeah, no, and that's a huge trick. And it's funny because you mentioned JRPG and stuff, and I actually have a shout out here to playing a handheld game while on some sort of exercise machine, or just parking. This is what like literally the story of mine. Parking your exercise bike in front of your TV to play a JRPG for 2 hours. Because I had it when Final Fantasy 13-2 came out, I actually tried this. I was playing it on the exercise bike in front of the TV, and I actually lost track of time. And I was actually on there for 2.5 hours on the bike, to the point that when I realized I was still on the bike and need to get off and go shower, I was all sweaty. I literally collapsed on the floor. I'd been on there so long because my legs were noodles. Like they were done. And I had to sit there for like 5 minutes before I could walk to the shower. It was pretty crazy. But I've also beaten, I think you were spot on with the older games and stuff. I did beat the original Legend of Zelda on my 3DS on an exercise bike. In fact.
Yeah, that seems like a good level where it does have some action, but it's not like so over the top because it's old enough that it doesn't have all these extra mechanics.
Yeah, and like on the 3DS and stuff where it was like more virtual console, it has save states and stuff like that, so you could like kind of just save if you're going to go and do something.
Like I'm sure you could do with like, I'm sure some people could do it easily with, say Breath of the Wild or whatever else. I always try to default to be like, hey, if you're going to do this as a first run, especially because I've tried several times over the last couple of years to exercise daily, and it's hard to convince myself. So it took like, okay, what's something that I really like and isn't going to take nearly as much attention span?
Yes.
And I finally found like the mix. Like when MLB The Show is really at its hay point, I'll play it then. And then, once it starts to die down, then I can boot up the Final Fantasy randomizers again and mess with those. So, like, it's always finding what works best for you in these situations. Like, obviously, if you play Call of Duty online, you might get a little distracted. You might suddenly stop biking, and then in which case, all of a sudden, you're not really doing anything, are you? So
no, because the trick is either make it fun, which is kind of, I guess, the Peloton example of making it lane break, or just distract yourself with something you enjoy so that you just don't even really notice you're doing the leg thing on the bike because you're busy playing MLB The Show or Final Fantasy 13-2 or
yeah,
whatever
and the
the hell
gaming
you
has
play.
helped more than anything because, like, I figure, okay, I got a podcast I can listen to. You know what? I'll throw that on and I'll bike in front of it. And as I'm watching this video podcast, and I'm like, after 5-10 minutes, I'm like, I'm fucking bored. Like, I don't want to do this.
Yeah.
So I realized that, especially with the randomizer right now, where I don't even have to care about the audio, I can still have a podcast in the background. So now I'm getting information in the ear, but also playing something and also exercising. So I'm getting like a lot of different things that are all kind of working together.
Yeah, and that's the key right there. Absolutely. Yeah.
But that's the stuff that works to distract when you're not doing like something like specifically for that purpose.
Yeah.
On the flip side, Ring Fit Adventure, as a game that is designed for exercise, loves to whip your ass.
Yeah, I was going to say the actual, before this Peloton lane break came out, the last time I used gaming to really, really push my exercise, because I was like going to a gym and trying to get out of the house more, was Ring Fit Adventure. That it was probably the best exercise video game that actually pushes you that I've ever used. And I've used a few, and like that one kicks your ass so hard.
That one, like, you could be at like level 5, which you're thinking, well, that's a lot. I'm like, no, there's like 30.
No, I remember
and
fighting
5, like, eventually is going to hit you pretty hard.
Yeah, and I love the way that one's designed too, because it'll be like you'll be fighting a boss or enemies or something, and they have colors associated with them, and it'll be like red, blue, yellow, something like that. And red will be like arm exercises, blue will be leg exercises, and yellow will be like core exercises. So it's like to attack the boss, you have to get down and do a plank, and the longer you hold it, the more damage you do. And then the leg one, which is the worst one by all means, in a good way, it's like do squats to do damage, but it'll be like do 30 fucking squats in a row, and you're hitting this massive dragon thing while holding this Pilates ring and doing the squats, and you're doing the damage, but also
you're almost happy to do yoga at that point because you're like, I need a break so bad.
I think it might be like green is yoga or something too. Yeah, like that's even one of the colors, which is great because it makes you move around. It never lets you just like, all right, you're only going to do push-ups. That's what you're good at, and that's the only thing you're going to do. No, you'll have to sometimes do that, but you'll have to do squats, you'll have to do a plank, and you'll have to do yoga. And you might have to do all 4 of them in one enemy battle, which is right after you've been running on the spot for the level and then aiming and squishing the Pilates ring to like attack boxes and get items and
to like
points
get
and
like
stuff.
extra currency and stuff.
Yeah, so there's like so many things going on. I thought it was so great and really, really pushed me. That I was winded.
They honestly, like, whoever was on the design team for that, they've really spent time with it and came up with what I think honestly is, to this day still, the most effective non-VR exercise game out there.
Yeah, I think that's a good point. Putting it as non-VR, because that's a whole other thing, which I'm sure we'll talk about.
The downside is it requires you to have a peripheral, but granted, like, it's like probably adding another $10-$20 to the price of the game. It's not like it's a massive investment.
Yeah, and to this, actually, no, not to this day, because I just got another Switch physical game that I sent you a picture of. But Ring Fit was the only physical Switch game I had, because like you can't buy the digital copy; you need the Pilates ring. Like it just all came as one package. Which
I mean, you could technically buy the thing. I mean, Rocksmith does have the cable on its own.
True,
Weird
that is
you
true.
would get just the cable, but.
Yeah, that is true. I do have the cable.
I mean, now you'd almost have to because most things are digital at this point.
Yeah.
Although I think guitar cables to USB are actually becoming more common, especially now with digital tools for audio recording. So it's probably not that uncommon either.
Yeah. Yeah, but yeah, Ring Fit Adventure. I remember even getting it, and it was like the pandemic, really hard to get it and all that. But now it's everywhere. Like I was at Walmart the other day and saw it there.
It's still the only game I own for the Switch that I don't use.
It's so effective. It got you to buy a Switch. Like, look at that.
I probably should go back and try it soon, but like I've got such a good formula here that I don't want to.
Yeah, no. It's good. If you've already got a formula going, you don't need to like add it in. I don't think you could without dying. But if you're struggling to start exercise, Ring Fit is like the perfect way. It's got a story mode with a dragon.
Especially if you don't want to spend the extra money on a bunch of equipment either if you don't have anything.
Yeah, it's surprisingly a very effective.
Because like you have a Peloton, I have an exercise bike. Not everybody's going to have these things.
No, absolutely. And this is much cheap. Well, I guess you have to buy a Switch if you don't have one. But if you already have a Switch of any kind, except the Switch Lite, because it won't go on the TV. Well, and
especially now because space Switches, now that the Switch 2 exists, aren't going to be nearly as expensive. You can also probably get them used too. So.
Yeah, so you can get one used. Grab Ring Fit Adventure. I think it's like less than $100 with the peripheral, and you're good. Like I've never completed it. It was still going. I put a ton of hours into it, and there was still more story. And they have fun challenges you can do and all this other stuff too. Fun little mini games. So I never ran out of content, and it's definitely worth the price if you're wanting to find something at least.
The last thing I wanted to bring up, even though I've never played it before, still to this day, is Beat Saber, because that seems to be the one that most people go to.
Yeah, that's the one I wrote down for sure. Yeah, Beat Saber. Oh yeah, I've seen people do it online. I've seen friends do it. It's
just before the pandemic. There used to be, because it's not there anymore. There used to be a VR party place in the city where I'm at, and that was a big feature that they had games like that there. And I was like, oh, that's gonna be cool. I'm gonna go there at some point and try it. And then of course the pandemic happened just before my birthday would have been, because I'm a February boy. Oh, yeah. And all of a sudden I'm like, well, I guess that's not happening anytime soon. And then 5 years have passed, and I went, well, I guess it's too late for that now. I mean, who knows? Maybe someday the PSVR 2 is on for $100 and I can consider it then. But or maybe the Steam what's the fucking
Steam Frame?
Yeah. Maybe I just kind of say screw it. Let me go be a rich old fuddy duddy and go get one.
If I ever get the Steam Frame, the first thing I'm buying is Beat Saber, 100%. I had it on my wish list on PlayStation for so long, so it's like, because if I ever get a PSVR 2, it'd kind of be for that. But I don't know. PC has the add your own music through modding option, and it's kind of like, ooh, I could Beat Saber a whole bunch of really cool songs that aren't on the PlayStation. But yeah, I don't know. That one.
Every time I see it, I think it's really fucking cool, and I want to. But
oh yeah,
I feel like I wouldn't want to do it unless I have the full experience. So
yeah, true. And you have to have that one requires a fair bit of space. While you can use Ring Fit Adventure in front of your TV, too, yeah. Maybe you got to move your couch or a chair back. But you can easily do that just like right in front of your TV with a little bit of space. Beat Saber is going to be probably like VR is just in general. You will need a bit more space associated for it, but I would probably say it's the most engaging. You're moving around, you're doing full body workout with that one and having fun, and you probably forget you're exercising until you take it off and you see how sweaty you are and you're like, whoa, where am I? What happened?
Any last ones you can think of here? Because
I just got two to mention. I haven't used these personally, but I've seen people do them, especially in games done quick, which is fitness boxing and Just Dance. And I think I wanted to throw these out because these ones are definitely even more affordable, even more so than Ring Fit Adventure. The fitness boxing, you just actually take the two, the two controllers from the Switch, whatever the hell they're called, the Joy-Cons. Yeah, and just attach them and you do the boxing with that. So you have to buy the games, but they're also cheaper. They're like $50. And at that point, all you need is a small room to stand and just use the Joy-Cons, which you may already have. So fitness boxing seems like a really good one. Plus, there's a bunch of different versions. And then Just Dance, I wanted to throw that one in there just because that's actually the only game of that I've mentioned so far that's on pretty much all platforms. You can get it on the Switch, the PlayStation, the Xbox, PC, whatever it is that you may have. If you have it hooked up to the TV, technically you could load up Just Dance and do a whole bunch of these dancing video things, whatever. I don't know. I've never done Just Dance, but I've seen a lot of it. And it would be good exercise. And that is probably the most accessible, I would say, to people, because it's like, say you have a PlayStation, your only real option, as far as I can tell, if you don't have a PSVR, is going with Just Dance, and that way you don't have to buy a Switch and then buy this and all that. You can literally just get Just Dance and do some dancing if you like that, and do some exercise at home that way. Like, it's the most accessible and probably the one that would appeal to a lot of people who are not used to any kind of exercising to get started with it, at least, or maybe feel intimidated, right? Because dancing is something we all know how to do. Doesn't mean we do it all well, but who cares?
I was
You're at home by yourself.
something we know how to do.
Yeah, we know how to move in general, and you're going to be home, and no one's going to care what you look like while you do it because no one can see you. So dance away. But yeah, that's the only other one I had. And then, of course, I figured we should also say a shout out to Wii Fit, because I feel like it was the grandfather that started this all, telling us all we have bad balance and spent years trying to make our balance good. And at the end, it still just said, nope, your balance is still shit. And it's like, is it me or is it you, Wii Balance Board? Is it me or you? It's me. I have horrible balance. But still, yeah, I feel like without the Wii Fit, we wouldn't even have had any of these.
I'm one of the weird ones that, like, how people have, like, good vision in one eye and bad in the other. I have really good balance on one leg and really shit balance on the other.
Yeah, I found I have shit balance on both legs. Yeah, both. Completely.
Well, you know, when you can't balance a backlog.
I can't. Adam, that was good. That was really good. It hurts, but it's accurate, and that was very clever. So
you know
I'm
what?
not upset.
Taking a good shot at Chris, that's a great way to end this episode, just like any episode. So thank you so much for checking us out this week on the Sidequest, guys. So like and subscribe, obviously, here on YouTube. But if you got anything that we missed or any things that have worked for you that seem outside of the norm as well, like I said, like Final Fantasy randomizers and baseball games kind of work for me. So, you know, whatever is your big tool for trying to stay in shape. And I say trying because we all are trying. Like, let's be honest.
It's a constant struggle. It's all forever.
Yeah, let us know in the comments below. But otherwise, we will see you on the next one. So take care and bye-bye for now.